Hello, everybody, and welcome to a interesting 2025. Leon and I are coming to you live, getting everything started with our podcast. For those of you all who saw our earlier podcast, we're going to be focused on in the beginning of the year on helping you all kind of decide where your money should go and what could be your position in the market. But to do that, we have to do one thing that's very important. We have to inform you of what's going on in the market and the things affecting the market right now. So we thought, what better time than to talk about Trump? And some of the things that have been going on. Some of you all know the regulations that have come. Some of you all have been focused on the meme coin that was released. Some of you all are just trying to figure out what's going to happen to business in the United States as a whole. We will not cover everything in this podcast, but we're gonna lightly touch on some subjects I think you'll find interesting. So I'm gonna do a little bit of my normal housekeeping, and Leon's gonna tell you a little bit more about our topic.
Yeah, so Trump is back. There's nobody that can affect the world like Donald Trump. And so like him or hate him, he's back. He's doing what he said he was going to do. He proposed a lot of stuff during the campaign, and he said in the first 100 days he was going to implement a lot of executive orders around that agenda, which he absolutely did. First day, I think like 90 some odd executive orders were issued. Yesterday, I think another 40 were issued. So he's hit the ground running, right? Doing exactly what he said he was going to do around immigration, around the border. He's rolled back some of Biden's policies that may or may not affect the market in general. But he's he got elected, so he's doing what he said he's going to do. Now, the main thing for us is like how is this going to affect the economy and the stock market? So business CEOs and business founders are really excited. And it's really strange to me, right? Because so under Biden, we had historically low unemployment, and we had historically high, in terms of historically high foreign investment and domestic investment in the CHIPS Act, the IRA, which is the Inflation Reduction Act. All this stuff, all these factories were built in this country. A lot happened in this country under Biden, but most people experience the economy through their paycheck and when they go shopping. And while a lot of people's paychecks did go up under Biden, we all know, and we're still feeling it now, inflation crushed a lot of people. And so Biden didn't really get the credit for a lot of what he did because, again, the president takes the credit and gets the blame for how people feel. And voters felt like the economy wasn't working for them because inflation was killing them. So Trump is now in. Trump has said he's going to do something about inflation. We'll see. But his main two agendas really are, as far as the economy, increase energy production, which is drill baby drill, right? Which means just increase production of oil, and then cut regulation, right? So there's another thing that I think Biden overreached on. His administration was really heavy handed on regulation around businesses. I mean,
Especially mergers and acquisitions.
Yeah, I was about to say, under his administration, there was almost no mergers and acquisitions because his Commerce Department and Federal Trade Commission and all that were very anti big businesses merging, which I agree with in some ways. I mean, because typically what happens, these big businesses merge and they raise prices. But I think they went a little overboard. I mean, quick example was Alina Khan was his I think FTC head. I forget. Don't quote me on that. But she was head of one of his administrations. Her I think her PhD paper or something she wrote in college was literally about why Amazon is a monopoly and why it should be broken up. Yeah. And this was 20 years ago when she was in school. And then now, fast forward now, she was head of, I think, the FTC, and her mantra was essentially big businesses should never be allowed to buy either other small, mid, or even large businesses, depending on the markets they're in. So it was this really kind of anti-business feeling that the administration is putting out. So a lot of mergers and acquisitions were stopped. And if those could have gone through, a lot of their stocks could have maybe done better. Now, again, the whole thing about raising prices is another issue. But so back to Trump. So Trump's main thing is deregulate a lot of business, and then increase energy production, which should then bring down prices. We'll see what happens. Other thing, last major point is tariffs. Right, Trump is a huge fan of tariffs, and if you don't know what tariffs are, all tariffs are where you basically put a tax on anything that's imported into the U.S. and that item or product more expensive because now the consumer has to pay that added tax. Flip side of that is also that tax is actually collected by the U.S. government. So let's just say a 10% tax is put on $100. That's $10. That $100 the company will pay to ship it into the U.S. Then that $10 will actually go into the U.S. Treasury. But the business is like, yo, we're not paying that extra $10 because why? Like we had nothing to do with this tariff. So then they pass that $10 on to us as consumers to pay that. So our prices rise, right? And Trump's thing is like, oh well, if you threaten tariff, maybe not do them, but threaten tariffs, businesses will be more apt to actually build facilities here in the United States and produce goods here, which creates jobs. So that therefore things don't have to be imported and they can avoid the tariff. Again, we'll see if this happens. So a lot of his policies are actually inflationary. So we'll see. Major last point is also the his deportations, right? So he's saying he wants to deport all these these illegal aliens. Reason why that can be inflationary is because if you start deporting workers in these like agriculture and hospitality who may be illegal, you're reducing the pool of workers, which then is going to raise their wages because now you have to pay more to get to try to entice people. That's inflationary because if you raise people's wages, then they have to raise the price of their goods. So it's a lot that hasn't happened yet, a lot that's going to happen. We'll see, if he actually does any of these and if they're actually inflationary. But what he's proposing right now, all economists say is inflationary. And if that happens, that could affect the stock market in a negative way, and just affect the economy as a whole. So, we'll see. It's still early. We're only less than a month in.
Yeah, less than a month in. And I know some of you all have been like, "Oh my gosh, I woke up and I heard all this news about this Trump meme coin. What is it?" So before we dive into that, let's talk about those of you all who are, or some of you who are not in the cryptocurrency space. Um, Cryptocurrency has had its run where it was like the most popular investment out there, and then it became the worst investment out there, and then it became, well, we don't know, so we're just going to focus on Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and those stable coins. Now, some people are like, okay, with this new administration coming in, maybe there'll be a rebirth in cryptocurrency. And for any of y'all who think cryptocurrency is the same thing as the stock market or stocks, buying stocks, it is not. So right now, from a regulatory standpoint, there's still very little regulation around cryptocurrency. The companies that create cryptocurrency, in a lot of cases, the people who create cryptocurrency, a lot of loose regulation. So definitely not regulated heavily. Then you have those companies that are operating on foreign soil and creating these coins here in the US. And we have no idea what those companies are set up for. Most people don't. So, when you're in cryptocurrency, especially right now, Leon and I have moved to a position where we're looking at like ETFs around cryptocurrencies. And if we are looking at holding a direct crypto ETF, electronically transferred fund, set up, because some of you might not know what ETF is, like Bitcoin. There's a Bitcoin ETF. There's several Bitcoin ETFs in existence now that trade on the stock exchange. Why does that matter? Because when people are trading cryptocurrencies inside of wallets, these decentralized exchanges became susceptible to theft. They became susceptible to being created copycat accounts, and some of them just went under during the period where cryptocurrencies were pretty much collapsing. Multiple exchanges just ceased to exist. So, you really, at one point, Kraken had a freeze on this account, and KuCoin switched from, which is a platform to trade, it switched from being able to do business in the US to essentially business in the US being illegal. So, what happens to those people's funds? They got locked up in these just stored like places. Like there's really no place for it. They're just floating in some crypto space.
Right.
So
They're just inaccessible, but just floating
yeah.
out there.
So, that is why we are big proponents of, if you are going to be in the cryptocurrency exchange, and then you had like companies that like Binance, where you was a very secure exchange. However, you had Binance US, and then you had, international, which was the bigger body of Binance, and then you have like the Coinbase. And at one point, I think it was 2021, Coinbase did their IPO, April.
I believe so. Yeah, I think 21.
And at that time, everybody was really flocking to Coinbase, and Coinbase actually had a freeze for one point because it was trading too fast and they didn't know what to do. So, these platforms have gotten better. I think Coinbase has gotten better. If you're on Robinhood, Robinhood never actually held the coin, but it held a position of the coin for you. Point is, there are a lot of ways of playing the cryptocurrency market. And many of you all have been like, maybe I will, maybe I won't. Leon and I suggest, and I'm speaking for Leon. Leon, correct me if I'm wrong. We're really sticking with the primary coins right now, the stable coins, Litecoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin,
What,
and
what, what,
really,
what those are different from stable coins. Stable coins are you mean like
yeah,
the large cap coins?
yeah. So stable coins were essentially considered stable because they weren't. They're actually used for a purpose, if you will, and it was adopted by certain corporations or institutional investors that have recognized it as being a coin that they will actively use. That's really the only reason they call it stable coins, because it's still questionable with the longevity of them. But Bitcoin right now, Bitcoin is over 100,000, and people were like, "Oh my gosh!" But just 4 or 5 years ago, Bitcoin was at 3,000 or so.
Mhm.
So it wasn't that long ago. This company, this coin was really it took a cut so large people were committing suicide, put it that way. So it's a lot to be had on what's going to happen with the future of cryptocurrency. But now we're talking about this official Trump meme coin. This meme coin was, I think, 18 cent when it came out, somewhere around there,
Yeah.
and it went up to $75 or so,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's down.
And it did that in I would say like 20 less than 30 hours. It went
Yeah,
from zero effectively to $75 in a little over a day.
and now it's down to about 38, 37, somewhere in that space. The
So it's been
question
cut in
is,
half.
well,
It's lost
yeah,
50%, and it's lost 50% over the last like 2 days.
and it grew like 7,000% in
Yeah.
like 20 hours. So the question is, what is the meme coin? Like, what is the coin? And Leon, you had the definition for meme coin, right?
Yeah, so I was always like, we've all heard the term meme coin. What does it mean? I mean, it was a term that was literally made up, meme
Yeah.
coin. Like,
And I think it really came about when Dogecoin. I think Dogecoin was really the cryptocurrency that everybody knew as a meme coin.
Doge and Shiba Inu were like the first
I was gonna say
main.
Shiba Inu, but Shiba Inu actually was what was called so it's called a vampire coin,
Oh,
because so Shiba Inu was a vampire coin because it was taking the audience of
Doge.
Dogecoin.
Okay.
So because it was taking the audience of Dogecoin and mimicking it, and being a dog and everything, they said that it is a vampire coin.
Right. Okay. So I mean, so I looked up, I like Googled it, and like it was like, what does meme coin mean? And it effectively really means a coin that has no real use case. The main purpose of a meme coin, the main purpose of a meme coin is a trading vehicle. It's meant to get in, make your money or your loss, and get out. Like there's no like, it's going to be used for transactions. It's going to be no, none of that. It's strictly a trading vehicle. It's a momentum play. You're trying to get in it, ride it up, and get out. So when you hear the term meme coin, because like Brent and I used to do this all the time, like, oh, what's the use case? What's the use case? Well, meme coins really have generally no use case. They're really just trading vehicles. So, and with the Trump coin, like Brent said, it went from 18 cents to $75 and back down in like a week, less than a week. It has no use case really. The only point to trade, the only reason that it exists is, of course, because Trump won the election. Somebody wanted to create it. So it's really what it is. You're just riding Trump's success or failure in office. That's all it's going to be. Like if he's uber successful, I'm sure this thing will reach $100 or more. If he starts to run some trouble with Congress, deportations, what have you, the coin will probably suffer. So you're really just riding the Trump brand more than anything. But there is nor was it meant to have any use case in the real world.
Yeah. So for those of you all who are like, oh, well, I want to trade it, I wanted this, be careful. A lot of you all are getting in because you feel like, oh, I don't want to miss the boat, or Well, I think this is going to be the next big thing. So at least I can make some money on it. If this is you and you are completely unfamiliar with trading cryptocurrency, do your research. Make sure it makes sense for you and use what Leon and I like to refer to as curious money. What happened when Bitcoin went on this like downfall? I mean, it's just a complete free fall. People had taken loans out, like home equity lines of credit, and used that money thinking this was going to be their retirement vehicle. And all of a sudden, this, cryptocurrency went from a couple thousand to a couple hundred in a matter of like 2 3 weeks. And so, you really want to be careful what money you're using to make an investment, especially inside of a meme coin.
Yeah, I mean, to me, meme coins, like, I'm not a fan because, like I said, I mean, they have no use case. There's no value behind it. It's strictly a momentum play. However, again, anybody that got in the Trump coin at $1, rode it from $1 to 75, possibly made a huge amount of money. So, I mean, they serve a purpose. They're purely speculative. If you do it, like we always say, I mean, my mind, crypto should be 3 to 5%. Meme coins, if you're going to do them, probably should be around 1%, if not less, of the size of your portfolio. Just because, again, literally, the Trump coin dropped 50% in about a day and a half, 2 days. And people were feeling like, oh, this thing's going to the moon. Trump won, yeah. And some people bought it 75, I'm sure, and now they're down 50% on their money in less than a day. So, yeah, just. I mean, as volatile as we know Trump is as a human being, the coin is like 10 times worse. So, just FYI.
And there are a bunch of meme coins. So
Yeah.
we're talking about the official Trump coin, but there are so many Trump meme coins. You want to know what you're getting into. I mean, even at one point, what was it, XRP got banned from trading,
Yeah,
but
Mm-hmm.
like overnight.
Mm-hmm.
And people's money, some to this day, got stuck in this place of limbo where they're still in XRP. It's still a company, but they couldn't trade the coin. They took it off like a bunch of the platforms. So these things are volatile. I mean, that's really the point we're driving home. Be careful when you're doing it. We're kicking off 2025 with a very interesting administration. I think the next 100 days are going to really show us where the market is heading, and it'll give us the kind of understanding on how to invest it or how to play it. But those staple companies that you've always paid attention to, continue paying attention to them. We will. If you are one of those individuals who's like, I've been wanting to get in the market ever since, whenever it's been my New Year's resolution, join the IEA. I mean, we're growing. We're still going to continue providing you all with what we consider to be great information. Granted, we're biased, but the platform is here for you to really learn and understand what investing in the market could look like for you. So what happens inside the IEA is if you're a member of ours or if you're in our membership platform, you see the information we're putting out, you hear our conversations, and you've read our stock picks. These are all just suggestions. Leon and I aren't saying everybody should do this because we know people are different. But we are going to start also talking about when we should be getting out of some certain positions in stocks. We're going to start having more conversations around the sell point. And so, just understanding that IAA is growing and we want you to be a part of that growth. We want you to have that New Year's resolution to become more financially literate, accomplished, and we're here for you. So if you are looking to become a member, you can go to ieamembers.com, figure out, what package makes the most sense for you. We're happy to have you. Is there anything I'm missing, Leon?
Nah, right, that was it. Like we're saying, new year, new beginnings. This is going to be an interesting 100 days, interesting 4 years, but interesting 100 days. Oh, last thing I just want to say is, so yesterday Trump came out and announced with the founder of OpenAI, which is ChatGPT, Oracle, and a investor from Asia he has a hedge fund, multi-billion-dollar hedge fund. Basically, they're starting this thing called Stargate, which is basically going to be these massive data sets. I mean, a lot of us are familiar with ChatGPT. It's by far the leading AI platform. And they came out and said they're going to initially invest $100 billion in data centers around, they're going to start out in Texas, but they're going to go around the country and then scale it up to $500 billion in the next couple of years. And this is mainly for ChatGPT. I mean, there'll be other companies, but mainly for ChatGPT. And I say this to say, because a lot of people are thinking that, oh, the AI boom is going to end soon. The crash is coming. No. Let me not say no. Let me just say I'm very skeptical of any ending in the AI boom anytime soon, because Microsoft just came out end of last year and said they're going to spend $80 billion this year on AI infrastructure and cloud infrastructure. And I think Amazon I think Amazon said 11 or 12 billion this year. Now you have this announcement from Oracle, OpenAI, and some others. They're going to spend $100 billion initially. So, we have a runway of probably another 2, 3, 5 years of this type of AI spend, which is going to benefit the AI companies, NVIDIA, Amazon, the big tech companies. So, just FYI on that, you don't got to be out here like trying to find the next Google. You can just buy Google, because Google will do well the next 3-5 years. So, FYI.
Yeah, and Google is Alphabet. So if you all are looking for it, and so we owe you what we always owe you at the end of these 2 stock picks. So we will post those inside of our platform. Again, you can go to IAMembers.com, log in if you're already a member. If you're not, please sign up. We're happy to have you. And if you want to reach out to Leon now, you can also go to our Facebook group. You just search Investing Education Academy on Facebook and join the group. It's open to the public, and there's some pretty good information in there. Thank you for being with us. We'll be back in 2 weeks, and we look forward to having a very interesting 2025.
Yeah.
So we're here for